Good morning, students. Today we are going to continue with the second chapter of OC, that is Principles of Management. In yesterday's lecture we had seen the introduction, the meaning and concept of Principles of Management. Okay, and we are now going to continue with the chapter. Okay, the first topic today is nature of Principles of Management, or you can say characteristics of Principles of Management. Okay, you can say as the nature of Principles of Management and characteristics of Principles of Management. So the first one is universal acceptance. Yes, all the principles of management given by any of the management guru, ideologist or the thinker can be applied to every business unit. Okay, all the principles of management given by whomever thinker or given by whoever guru can be applied to each and every business unit. Yes, the thing we have to remember is that the implementation of all the principles may change, okay, as per the type, form, size, activity of the business unit, but the principles of management can be applied to most of the business units. Okay, that is why we can say that the principles of management are universal. Okay, so principles of management have universal acceptance. Okay, all the principles of management can be applied to mostly all the business unit. Yes, implementation will be slight different according to the size, according to the nature, according to the activities, according to the form of the business unit. Okay, that is why we can say that principles of management are universally accepted by all. Second one, flexible. I have told you already in the concept that principles of management are not rigid rules. They are rules definitely, but they are not rigid at all. Whenever you want to change, whenever you want to bring the changes, whenever you want flexibility, you can change those principles of management accordingly. Okay, principles of management are flexible, they are not rigid. Okay, suppose you are dealing with a problem. Okay, while dealing with a problem you have implemented certain principles of management, but that certain principles of management are not giving you proper results. Then as a manager you can change those principles of management and adopt other principles of management which can give you the result. Okay, you have stuck with the situation, you are stuck with the circumstances, you are stuck with a complex problem, and you are applying certain principles of management, but while applying those principles of management it is not helping you to solve that particular complex problem or come out of that particular situation. Then in that particular condition, if you want to bring changes in the principles of management, if you want to adopt or implement new principles of management, you can do it. There is no rigidness. Principles of management are always flexible. Okay, so that is about the flexibility. Next one, general guidelines. Yes, they are, as we have seen, principles of management are what? Principles of management are are guidelines. What type of guidelines? That also I told you, detailed and perfect guidelines for decision making and its implementation. We have seen in the first lecture of principles of management. Okay, so principles of management are what? Principles of management are guidelines. They are just guide. Okay, guidelines. For example, if you complete 12 commas, there will be many people who will be giving you the guidance that do that, do this way. You will listen to all. Okay, but you will do whatever you want to. In the same way, principles of management, there are many principles of management giving lot of guidelines to the managers, giving lot of guidelines to the CEOs and entrepreneurs, how to run the business unit, how to manage. But it depends on the manager, it depends on the CEO, that which guidelines they want to adopt, which guidelines they want to implement. Okay, so they are just the guidelines. Okay, there are certain principles of management which will work for your business unit, but it will not work for the other business unit. Okay, so it is not compulsory that yes, that particular business unit had adopted these principles of management, so I will also apply. Good, they had adopted, they had got the result, you can apply it. But when you apply those particular principles of management, and if you are not getting the proper result, or you are not getting the proper outcome, then you can change those particular principles of management and adopt new principles of management. So the principles of management are not the perfect rules, they are just the guidelines. Okay, and principles of management are what? Principles of management are the results of experiences gained by different experts in different situations, that we have already seen in the first lecture. What is principles of management? They are outcome of three things. Here they have written just the experience, but they are the outcome of assumptions, traditions and experiences, right? So the principles of management are the experiences that are made by the different experts in different situations. Okay, and there are in every business unit there are different types of problems and different types of situation coming up. It is not that every business unit will face the same problem. As the problem is not the same, so the conclusion or resolving that particular problem will also not be same. So the principles of management will also differ according to the complex and different problems faced by different business unit. So that is the general guidelines. Okay, next one, based on human behavior. Yes, based on human behavior, as I told you, whenever the principles of management are made, okay, it has to be made considering the human behavior. As in management activity, who is at the center? Man is at the center. So whenever the principles of management are made, they have to keep in mind the psychology of the human being. They have to keep in mind the psychology of human behavior. Keeping in mind the psychology of the human behavior, they have to make principles of management. And principles of management, that is why, are based on human behavior. Because who is going to follow principles of management? Who is going to implement principles of management? Men are going to implement the principles of management. They are the people who are going to follow the principles of management. So principles of management should be in favor of human behavior, should be based on human behavior. Okay, and the last one they have made very confusing, but don't get confused at all. First of all, what it means? Contingency means a future event, or you can say an accidental expense. Okay, contingency means a future event or an incidental expense. Okay, now what is a future event? Okay, any future event it may be. Okay, a future event, suppose say earthquake has come up, okay, and everything has get scattered. Okay, there is a lot of losses. Okay, now how to deal with that? There are many principles of management can help you with that particular situation. And incidental expense can be the laborers goes on strike and says that we want this particular facility or we want more wages. Okay, then there are certain principles of management which can help you in that particular situation, and that principle of management will tell you to increase the wages slightly, not as much as they want, or to give them a particular facility if it is of much importance. Okay, so that is an incidental expense. So principles of management also deals with the future event of the business unit or an incidental expense of the business unit. So these are the 5 characteristics of principles of management, or you can say nature of principles of management. So don't get confused, nature and characteristics are one and the same. Okay, so here we finish with the nature or characteristics of principles of management. Okay, the next topic is importance of principles of management. First one, increase in management efficiency. Definitely. Okay, principles of management are going to provide what to the managers? It is going to provide guidelines to the managers. And if the managers will work according to the guidelines, definitely the profit of the business unit will increase, and definitely the efficiency of the employees will also increase. Okay, so increase in management efficiency because of the principles of management, because principles of management are going to guide the managers, and they will perform the tasks or perform the activity according to the principles of management, which will improve the work of the business unit, which will improve the functioning of the business unit, and the efficiency of the management or efficiency of the business unit will definitely increase. Second one, maximum usage and effective administration of resources. Okay, maximum mx, maximum usage and effective administration. Okay, effective administration of resources. Yes, if you follow the principles of management, you will able to use all the resources properly. There will be maximum utilization of resources without any wastage. Okay, you will able to use the resources at the maximum level, okay, without any wastage, if you follow principles of management. What are the resources? Okay, resources may be raw material, maybe the employees which are working over there. Okay, machinery, land, this all are the resources. Okay, so if we follow principles of management, we will be able to use the resources at the maximum level. Here they say, what is maximum? Maximum means maximum benefit with minimum cost. Okay, maximum means maximum benefit with minimum cost, which is possible, which will be possible only if we follow principles of management. Third one, helpful for scientific and logical reasoning. In short, we can say helpful for decision making. Okay, helpful for scientific and logical reasoning, or you can say helpful for making decisions. Yes, if you are following principles of management, then it will help you to make the proper decisions. Okay, now how the decisions has to be made? Decisions should always decisions should always be made on time. Okay, it should be effective. Whatever decisions we are making should be effective. Okay, whenever you make the decisions, what you have to keep in mind? You have to keep in mind the facts, you have to keep in mind the thoughtfulness, you have to keep in mind the objectives. Okay, and if you use management principles or principles of management, it will help you to take the decision on time without partiality. Okay, so what you need when you take the decisions, when you take the decisions, it should be on time, it should be effective. Okay, it should be thoughtful, it should be based on facts. So if you utilize or if you use principles of management, then principles of management will help you to make the decisions on time, appropriately, without partiality. So that is helpful for scientific and logical reasoning. Next one, to cope up with changing business environment. Yes, whenever there is changes in business environment, changes, in short, changing in the market, changes that are coming up in the market, changes that are coming up in the business, if you want to cope up with these changes, then please implement the new principles of management. And we know periodically the new principles of management are given by many of the gurus, many of the scholars. So if you want to cope up with the changing business environment, no problem, just implement, just utilize the new principles of management in your business unit. You will be cope up with the changing, you will be able to cope up with the changing business environment. Next one, to fulfill social responsibility. Yes, to fulfill social responsibility. Now, what is the main objective of business unit? The main objective of business unit is to earn profit. Okay, that one thing you have to remember, as well as you have to remember that business unit is connected with the society. Okay, business unit and society are connected with one another. Okay, they are very much interconnected with one another. Okay, society needs business unit as well as business needs requires this society. If there is no society, then whom the business unit is going to sell the goods or the services. Okay, so who are, in short, who are buying their goods? The people living in the society are buying their goods. So the business unit just not have only one objective, that is to earn profit, but their other objective is also to serve the society, is also to do something for the society, to do welfare for the society. So what business unit can do? If the business unit is earning lots and lots of profit, even if it is learning somewhat profit, then they can make gardens for the people of the society, they can make hospitals where the treatment is given free of cost, or with or by paying less fees, or they can start with the schools, or they can start with the orphanages. Okay, so in this way they can help the society, they can help the nation. So that is to fulfill social responsibility, and this is possible only if we follow principles of management, because one of the principles of management says that yes, business unit have social responsibility towards the society, towards the nation of the country, towards the society of the country, towards the nation. Okay, and sixth one, useful for research, training and development. Yes, the principles of management is really very useful for training, it is useful for education, it is useful for research, as well as it is useful for development. Okay, as they have told, as we can see nowadays, whenever you go to give interview, they take many of the tests. Okay, from where this test have come? Because of the research done with the help of the principles of management. We have different types of test. Okay, the main is like aptitude test, right? That aptitude test has the aptitude test is the result of the research which was done with the help of the principles of management. So principles of management are useful for research, education, training and development among the employees, and also it is useful for the development and research of the business unit. Okay, so this is the importance of principles of management, only 6 importance of principles of management. Okay, next one, thoughts of management. Okay, thoughts of management. Thoughts of management. Thoughts of management are outcome of RRS I have written. Okay, what it stands for? Thoughts of management are outcome of results, research and studies. How this thoughts of management has come up? Because of results, okay, because of research and because of studies. Now who has done this results, who has got the results, who have done the research, who have done the studies? Obviously the experts, okay, of management, or the thinkers, or the scholars, or the authors of the management has done this research. Because of that particular research they have got certain results, and they have also done the studies, and because of this result, research and studies, whatever we have got is called as thoughts of management. Okay, now thoughts of management, many management gurus have represented different different principles. Okay, now there are this thoughts of management are given by different gurus, different thinkers. Okay, mainly we have 4 thoughts: thoughts of classical theory, thoughts of neoclassical theory, thought of behavior related, and fourth one, thought of modern management. Okay, now when we talk about the first one, thoughts of classical theory. Okay, today we are going to see only let us see how much we can complete, 1 or 2. Third and fourth we'll do afterwards. We'll try to complete first 2. Thoughts of classical theory. Okay, now this thoughts of classical theory was presented till the end of 19th century. Okay, the thought of management presented till the end of the 19th century are known as thoughts of classical theory. So which are the thoughts of classical theory? The thoughts of management which were presented till the end of the 19th century are called the thoughts of classical theory. Okay, now who had promoted classical theory, or who contributed in the classical theory? There are many who contributed in the classical theory. They are Frederick Taylor, Max Weber, Gilbert, Henry Gantt and Henry Foyle. Okay, they all have contributed in the classical theory. Okay, Now, the main contributions were done by the Frederick Taylor. Okay, the scientific management principles that were presented by the Frederick Taylor is the part of the thought of classical theory. Okay, the Frederick Taylor favored the scientific management. In scientific management, he favored the time study and motion study against the traditional methods of management. Okay, so what was the scientific method or scientific management according to the Frederick Taylor? According to him, he doesn't want to follow the traditional methods of management, but he had favored the time study and motion study for the management. Okay, as well as Henry Foyle has also contributed in the thoughts of classical theory, and he has given 6 different levels. Okay, 6 different activities, and in those activities what work has to be done, that also he has made cleared. Okay, that also we are going to see in detail. It is on page number 23. Okay, 6 different activities, and under that activities which work has to be done has been made clear by him. So that is also the part of the thoughts of classical theory. Okay, so this is important things that you need to remember are the thoughts of classical theory. Now, why did neoclassical theory came up then? We had the thoughts of classical theory because of the limitations of thoughts of classical theory. Thoughts of neoclassical theory came up into existence. Okay, now thoughts of classical theory, what do you mean by what were the limitations of thoughts of classical theory? In classical theory, the importance was not given to finance. Okay, the no importance was given to finance. There was less importance given to the humans. In short, the employees were not given much importance. Okay, and that is why, because of the limitations, because of these two main limitations, that is the finance and less importance to the employees, we came up with the new thought that is known as thought of neoclassical theory. One more thing, after 19th century there was industrial revolution, and because of industrial revolution there was change in the size, there was change in the formats of the business unit, right? That is why we needed the new thought. That is why thought of neoclassical theory came up into existence. Okay, now second one, thoughts of neoclassical theory. Once again the same thing, that because of the limitations of the thoughts of classical theory, the neoclassical theory came up into existence. What type of limitations? Industrial revolution took place, the size and the size of the business unit, the formats of business unit started changing, and because of this particular changes, okay, we needed the new thought, and that is why we had the new thought. And this new thought, that is a thought of neoclassical theory, came when it came up in the start of 20th century. In the starting of the 20th century, the thought of neoclassical theory came up into existence. Okay, who was the first one to start with the neoclassical theory? Elton Mayo, an Australian industrialist and psychologist. Okay, he started with it. He gave a theory known as the theory of Hawthorne. Okay, and this theory of Hawthorne is a part of the neoclassical theory. So the Elton Mayo is also called the promoter of neoclassical theory, because he was the first one who had given the one of the concept to the neoclassical theory. So he is called the promoter of the neoclassical theory. Okay, now in neoclassical theory, what different concepts are added over here? Employees were given importance. Okay, that is why there was the addition in the neoclassical theory about human behavior, human relations, and inspiring the employees. Okay, as well as uh, the thoughts of neoclassical theory also add up with the human behavior thought, social mechanism thought, and social arrangement thoughts. Okay, as well as with Elton Mayo, who were the other to promote neoclassical theory, the other to promote the neoclassical theory, or I can say the other who contributed in the neoclassical theory were Maslow. Okay, then the Renaissance. Okay, then is Herzberg, Okay, this also contributed in the neoclassical theory. So what was added in the neoclassical theory? In short, the human behavior, human relations, inspirations, okay, social mechanism, social arrangements were added up in the theory of thoughts of neoclassical theory. Okay, so here we finish with the thoughts of classical theory and thoughts of neoclassical theory. Okay, now in the next lecture we'll see the thoughts of behavior related and thoughts of modern management. Thank you.